want to do the formatting aspect, and that's kind of, Nancy was talking about it. So these are the primary e-readers right now. Android, this is Apple. It's and then Kindle, the two different Kindles, so the old Kindle and then the color one, the old Nook and then the color Nook, the Sony. You'll see Sony right now has the least options. Sony has the fewest, it can read in the fewest categories. So these are the formats, EPUB, e-reader, these are ebook formats, HTML you're all familiar with. The Kindle has its own. Mobi Pocket is started as Windows version, and then just PDFs. So they'll all take PDF across the board. Every single one of them will read a PDF. So that's the safest one to use. So I could spend a lot of time talking about this, but I'm not really going to. But the point is, you can use a company, I'm going to go through companies where you can upload that will do the least common denominator of all the readers. So you make the thing that works on everything, which is essentially a PDF with very few graphics in it. The Kindle, that's what this Kindle needs, and that's what the Sony Reader needs. And that will work on all of them, or you can specify, and you can format for the Android, and format for the iSystems, and format for each individual one. A lot more work involved, but your book, if it's graphics intensive, if how it looks really, really matters to the readership of the book, you probably want to go that route of doing it individually for each reader that on which you want to sell. You don't have to sell on all those platforms either. You could just sell for Kindle and only worry about what Kindle takes, or you could go through it all for each one of them. So, does that make sense?
So you're saying if you create a PDF book, that the Kindle can download it from your website, say? Or does it have to be...
Not from your website. You still have to go through one of the distributors,
okay.
But yes, you can actually, that's a good point. If you have a PDF book, anybody with a Kindle can read any PDF from any place. They just have to plug the Kindle into the computer where it's loaded and upload it onto the Kindle itself. So any PDF, I haven't come across any that don't work, is readable on a Kindle. I don't know if that's true across all the other platforms. All right, so these are three of the distributors for which I am familiar, and with which people are known to have the most success right now. So these are kind of the three most popular. So the first one is Smashwords. There's no setup fee. You pay a percentage of your earnings. Smashwords is the one with that least common denominator thing. Because what Smashwords does, it takes only a Word document. It doesn't take a Word 2007 document. It takes the older version of Word. And there are a lot of limitations. 18 points is the largest text you can use. Pictures, kind of if they're standalone, not with a lot of wrapping. No tables, no tabs. It's a very, very stripped down version of the book. If your book is primarily concentrated on text, this is still a really good mechanism. And it's easy. You do it once, you upload, and it distributes to all of them. You can set whatever price you want. They do require that you give a percentage of the book away for free. And the minimum percent is 10%, so you're required to do that because that's part of their system, so that they can get people. And I think that just makes sense. We've lost the ability to go in and physically touch books in bookstores when we're buying online. If you can't see a piece of the book, I think authors that don't do that are foolish. So Smashwords takes care of that. They require you. But you could give away 1 chapter, 2 chapters, however much percent you want to. It would be interesting to give away all at the end and have people pay for the last chapter. But anyway, okay, so the second one is Book Baby. This comes out of CD Baby with iTunes. So these people know what they're doing because they've perfected it with music. They're not quite there with books yet, but books are newer, so they're getting there. And this requires a setup fee, but you keep all the earnings. And the last one is eBook Architects. And this one, you pay per conversion. So this is really the advanced one. So I'm going to convert for Kindle. I'm going to convert for the iPhone or iPad. I'm going to convert for Sony. For each one, we do it individually. And those are the three that are just at the top of the game right now.
Now, how much do they cost? Are you saying that, like, the Smashwords, you go in there and use it for free, pretty much?
Right, but if I sell it, I pay 1.9% per whatever.
Oh, and they get it.
They get
Got
that.
it. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
The other one has a setup fee that depends on how you set it up.
Okay.
This one has a pay per conversion fee, and it depends on which system
Got
you're
it.
converting
Okay.
to. Okay. Then I would say yes, you definitely pay a professional for editing. Okay, and that might be out of place. You want to do that before you upload, but you wanted to get it in there. So definitely. You get what you pay for in large part, not always. Ask for references. I have a whole ebook on how to hire an editor. But if you are putting your, not just your book, but especially a book, but if you are putting things out there for public consumption, you want to have your best foot forward and you want your language to be correct. So here I will talk about, this is probably the one place I'll talk about physical books. When you go to the bookstore, people spend about 8 seconds on the front cover if they're holding a physical book in their hand. 14 seconds on the back cover. What's the next thing they do? They open it up. When they're reading that 10% free text on Smashwords, they're not going to buy it if it is rife with mistakes, if your tenses are off, if you have grammar issues. Now, not everybody's like me, who's just a crazy anal reader who's been trained in writing since the 3rd grade. Not everybody's going to be quite as hard on it as I am. But there are things that just stand out. I mean, I had a client bring a book to me the other day, a prospective client, and she's shopping it to publishers, and it was not edited. And I thought to myself, well, that's part, the editors are being very gentle with you by telling you they want it to be more dynamic. Part of it is they just want it to be more correct. There were lots and lots of mistakes in it. So before you think about a publisher, before you think about, you don't have to pay a lot. You really can find decent people who do it, at a lesser rate, grad students who are looking for money. Make sure people have time for you. I mean, there's a lot of aspects to this, but definitely worth the money. Okay, then you want to pay for the typesetting. I mean, if you really, if how the book matters, how the book looks matters. This is an InDesign file, and this is what it looks like when it's getting laid out. So you want to pay somebody. So they're taking it out of a Word document and putting it into a graphics format, because the new Kindle, the Kindle Fire, will take a PDF made out of this format and load it exactly. So, okay.
Can I just ask you real quick? But you being the Microsoft Word expert that you are, can you not design a decent book in Microsoft Word?
You can, however, because all the elements come in together as one page, the thing about a design program like InDesign is that each element is by itself separate. So the picture is, and this layer is, and each block of text, and then it integrates. And these programs are designed to integrate much more smoothly than Word does. Although Word has gotten a lot better over the last 10 years, you can still do it and print it and the picture is moved or something. That doesn't happen in InDesign. They're just anchored and they're just so much better linked. So yes, you could. I still don't, I mean, having moved and learned how to do this, I really recommend.
Do you use InDesign?
I do.
That's an expensive program,
It's
though.
about $600.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buy it as a student. Find someone who's a student. You can get the whole suite, creative suite, for $199.
But if you are going to be doing desktop publishing work, it's worth having. If you are not, you may want to pay somebody else. I mean, is this another thing that's going to benefit you by having that skill, or is it something you're just taking on because you want to know, but you can pay somebody to get it out of your hair fast?
Or is it going to frustrate you trying to learn the
Yeah,
program?
those kind of things. Okay.
That's what we could do with make sure that we